anticipation growing each day for Seminole football as we get closer to that September 3rd season kickoff with Clemson. In talking to Coach K after the game, he said about the final stretch, every play was a big play leading to a Duke win over Florida State. Not a huge surprise to FAMU Nation considering the big loss they had to their biggest rival, Bethune-Cookman. Were you surprised that you weren't able to get that fourth year to try and get this program back to where it should be?
The biggest surprise was the result from the 2007 season.
Finally, inside sources tell sports director Elton Gumbel that Florida A&M pulls off a much-needed move as they steal Hampton's head football coach, Joe Taylor, to take over as the head man for the Rattlers. And I'm sure it's going to be a very emotional game for those seniors playing their last game. Of course, a big game right here in town. Florida State hosting Maryland for the Noles' final home game of the season. Coach Bowden also looking for number 300 at Doak Campbell Stadium. Noles sporting the all-garnet look for today's game. We picked this one up in the first quarter. Terrapins driving, sophomore quarterback Chris Turner getting a little greedy, fires deep. Patrick Robinson picks him off, going the other way, and finally getting taken down after a 32-yard interception return. Now look at this, folks. Preston Parker lining up at running back, takes it on the sweep and finds some daylight. Good for a 20-yard gain on his first carry. 3 plays later, and it is Drew Weatherford on the rollout, calls his own number, takes it in from a yard out. Seminoles take a 7-point lead. After a Terp field goal, the Noles are driving again, and it's Preston Parker running up the middle. Parker sneaking by everyone, 18 yards to the house. He finds the pay dirt. Florida State on top 14-3. Start of the second quarter, same score. Drew Weatherford back to pass, hits Dakota Fagg in the end zone, 10-yard touchdown strike. Noles take a 21-3 lead. End of the game now, FSU up 24-16. Noles need a first down to ice it. Preston Parker ices it for him. Parker with 133 yards on the ground and a touchdown. So Coach Bowden getting his 300th win as a Seminole, 373 overall with the 24-16 win over the Terps. Noles in action next week in Gainesville for the much-awaited rivalry between the Noles and Gators. But for now, here's Coach Bowden on the 300th win. Dick Howser Stadium is one of the toughest places to play for opposing teams. The reason resides right here in Section B, where the Animals make themselves heard. Players, coaches, heck, even our own chief meteorologist and part-time animal agree that there's nothing like it in college baseball.
It's an atmosphere that's not just about baseball, but it's about FSU sports, and it's the perfect blend of both of those that I think every team that comes into Howser wishes they had fans like the Section B guys.
It makes us feel good when we're playing at home and they jump on and yell at the other team and heckle them, and just makes us feel good because they're not doing it to us.
They ignite our team, they excite the other fans in the ballpark. They pulled us through a number of times in the past.
They may be loud, but every chant has its own superstitious purpose and a story to go with it. Might seem strange to hear "Oh Canada" so deep in the South, but the song, it's just another wrinkle in the Animals' story, starting way back in 1988. A famous animal named Mongo belted it out in the 5th inning of a game that the Noles were trailing. Florida State came back, and as the saying goes, the rest is history.
I think it works, and people believe that's what baseball superstition is all about.
I think the stats prove that it works. You look and see what inning FSU scores either the most or second most runs in, it's always the 5th inning.
You can hear the Animals every home game as they look to help get the Noles their first College World Series championship. Dave Robin, Eyewitness Sports, Tallahassee. Florida State Seminoles are dealing with an issue that every baseball team in the world loves to have. They've got offense to spare. In their first 2 meetings with Savannah State, the Noles have banged out 42 runs, looking to keep that momentum going for the Game 3 of their series. Mother Nature looking a little iffy last night, looking just right for the first pitch today. Jeff Parker manning the bump for the Seminoles in 4 innings of work. The freshman strikes out 6. Matt Oglesby pitching for the Tigers. He doesn't strike out anyone. Bottom of the first, 2 on for Jack Rye. Bye-bye, Rye. picking up a lot of frequent flyer miles on a flight like that. Knocks in 3 on the dinger, and just like that, the Noles take a commanding lead. Same inning, same score until one out for Stuart Tapley. Bang, bang, hits it a mile, actually bounces off the roof in left center, just right of the scoreboard. Speaking of the scoreboard, the Noles lit that baby up like a pinball machine. Florida State destroys Savannah State 24-4 in 7 innings, so that's now 66 runs in the series alone if you are keeping count at home. The age-old stereotype of playing like girls does not apply here. To compete in the ACC, playing physical is the only option, and did you know that Florida State has a secret weapon? They practice against men.
They pressure the dog out of us and play us like men, foul, everything, so it helps out a lot.
Some people may find it odd seeing the women play the men, but the heightened physicality in practice translates into results on the court.
So when you get out on the court, it makes other teams seem slower, and it makes things a little easier because you've gone against a tougher opponent in practice every day.
It's definitely physical. We come out here, we battle against them every day, and it goes both ways, and they're just as big and strong as us.
Griffin Kolchakian, a former high school player, admits that he was quite surprised with the level of play the first time he set foot on the Seminole practice court.
It just takes one day, about one play, and you're not sure at first, you know, oh, can I block their shots? But when they block your shot and back you down and scoring you, then you get just as mad.
Well, I think it takes a special, guy to have to come and, play against girls every day and, put your ego aside.
But they do it day in and day out with one goal in mind, helping the Lady Noles get back to the NCAA. It's the time of year that everyone is catching racing fever, even in Tallahassee, where the best racing comes from remote control car racers.
The cars are basically exactly like a real car. You can do any kind of setup you want to it. It's only limited by your imagination, basically.
Yeah, we get to watch the races on Sunday and then come act like, and we don't have to spend near as much money.
All right, guys, you got 50 seconds. 50 seconds left. Remember, keep
the similarities with NASCAR don't stop with the competitive aspect.
Believe it or not, even though the cars are very small, there's still a little bit of a draft behind them, and you can actually suck right up to the guy behind you, just like in NASCAR.
Hey, we made it through there. At least I did.
These racers take the competition so seriously that some spend every extra moment they have on their cars.
I'll probably spend a good 20 hours of my free time during the week.
But even for the novice racer, coming to the track at Tom Brown Park is all about fun. In Tallahassee, Dave Robin, Eyewitness Sports. You just might be looking at the future star of Florida State track and field. If he looks familiar, that's because he's currently a Rickards Raider. Senior sprinter Juwan Harley has done what most only hope to do. He ran down his dream of representing Florida State on the track.
It's like a dream come true. Be able to be on the best of the best team is something saying that I'm doing something right. It's all saying don't stop working, keep working hard. It's just a great honor I could be some part of.
Juwan could have gone anywhere, but chose FSU to follow in the footsteps of past Seminole greats like Walter Dix. So instead of standing out, he'll have to try to fit in with an NCAA championship caliber team. But his high school coach says Harley has the talent to make that happen.
He hadn't touched it yet, his talent, peaked yet. He's just got a long ways to go.
I don't want to be on a team that anything's given to me. That's something I would like to work for my earn mine. So going to Florida State is something that I'll be competing every day in practice with the best of the best.
Fortunately for Juwan's friends and family, they get to watch him through his every stride. Dave Robin, Eyewitness Sports, Tallahassee.